This segment I'm calling business consulting. It's what I became. I was a business consultant. But eventually, what I called myself, I went from project to project for 10 years. I didn't really have a title. I didn't know what to say. I just knew I helped this person. They referred me to somebody else, and I did it for 10 years. I never advertised. I never. It was just what door the Lord opened up, and I could help somebody. That's what I did, and I had gone through the the economy crash here in Bozeman in '86. Got hung with a bunch of real estate and liquidated as fast as I could and negotiated with banks and so on and so forth, and went from like $250,000 in equity to nothing anyway. And I had started it with $500 I had borrowed from my wife, who'd gotten a small inheritance from her grandfather, and invested it. And after liquidating everything, I, I was able to give her $500 back. But it was, anyway, I learned a lot. We had mobile homes, 26 mobile homes, mobile home park, and bakery, and bakery's my passion. Had a really great bakery. Probably one of the worst business decisions I ever made was closing the bakery. It was a money making machine, but I was trying to help other people doing other things. But anyway, went through all of that, and from that I started learning, wow, I could have done this, I could have done that. Look at hindsight. And then some other people said, hey, can you help me with this because you did this and you went through it, and so I would help them. And I had a, back in the day before people really knew about how to get a car discounted, I was buying cars for under wholesale, and so people come to me, ask me to help them buy a car. I charge them $500. So I did all kinds of tax accounting and tax planning. All kinds of different projects came my way. The first consulting job I had was when I believe I was 19. Helped a guy buy a house. He didn't have any money, but he'd heard how to buy a house, money, but no money down. And I had known him from this small town I'd grown up in, but I moved to Springfield, and he had moved there, and he looked me up and said, hey, can you help me do this? Because we had talked a lot about doing that back in, late 70s. And so helped him walk through it. And he walked out of closing with $300, and he used the cash flow off the rent to kind of put new carpet and paint it, clean it up. And a year later, he had $10,000 in equity, and he came to me and said he wanted to do it again, and they wanted to tackle a bigger project and buy a apartment house. So he'd found an apartment house he had wanted. It was listed for $499, and I thought it was crazy. And of course, I was 19 years old, going, wow, this is huge. And that was like a lot of money. And but we tackled the project. We ended up buying it for $249. He ended up buying it. He offered me half, but I had to make the commitment that if anything went wrong, I'd quit school and get a job and make the payments. And I turned it down, and which was a mistake. But anyway, so we walked out of closing. He had 5 mortgages and put $20,000 in his bank account, and had a positive cash flow. He started fixing that building up. But the city did eminent domain on the property, and it was like 6 months later or something, and forced him to sell it to the city for $1.3 million. So I kind of jokingly say that was the first person I helped become a millionaire. Anyway, and while I was working in real estate and buying and selling mobile homes, I had a gal paid me $300 a month just because she had real estate here and she wanted someone on the ground to help her with different things. And so she paid me a consulting fee. So I'd done a little bit of consulting, different things, and morphed into it after the crash in '86. First consulting project in February of '87 and kept going, and I've been going ever since. And so in '89, we we had a son that had leukemia, and he needed a soap, an antibacterial soap. And we looked at this thing called Melaleuca, and they sold antibacterial soap. Really helped us a lot. The vitamins helped me a lot, and we started building that as a referral marketing program, and did really well with it for over 10 years. And so for about 10 years I did Melaleuca consulting, and kind of in the process of that, I was a business model person, so I love business models. So I looked at a lot of network marketing companies and their business model and what was going on and what I thought was good and bad and ugly, whatever. And I was constantly working on some of the issues in my mind. Um, one of the things that bothered me was that we would go out and show Melaleuca to someone, and let's say they wanted the vitamins, and they were really good vitamins and they really help people. But say a husband and wife is there, and the wife would take them, or the husband would take them. They both wouldn't take them because of the budget. And and I thought, wow, can we come up with a system that allow people to just we could make our profit off of a smaller basket, and then just give them whatever they wanted for wholesale after that. So, and wholesale on, I mean, cost on vitamins is, a $20 set of vitamins costs $2 to make. And so I was like, man, that way you can get help these people, that needed that product that couldn't necessarily afford it. And I was thinking about those kind of things. I was driving down the road one day and came up with several other things that would resolve multiple problems. And and the idea hit me, and it all came together. And the name that I call this company hit me, and I literally pulled off the road. I said, I got to know where I'm at when I came up with this idea. And whether I came up with it or God gave it to me, and I pulled over, and the street sign said Grandview, Missouri, and I didn't know really, except that was close to Kansas City. So I thought, interesting, Grandview, anyway. And that's where I came up with the idea of share value, but it would be an open market system to where people could put their products in it, their products, and then the cream would rise to the top. We'd have people buy so much a month and then get the rest at cost, and dramatically increase people's buying power, which could have a significant effect on people. And but I didn't have any way to really handle a dynamic catalog, so I knew I wasn't quite ready for this. But I took the idea and just kind of put it on the shelf. That was in '91, I believe, And that's kind of how I got into consulting and stuff.